Hello everyone, Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff. If you're watching the replay, welcome. And don't forget to comment and tell us where you're watching from. And if you're joining me live, we're going to be doing some fun projects today on a couple of signboards. So this is a, let's see, 16 by, what's the same size as our transfers that I'm going to be working on? 12 by 16. So I'm looking at this Luck of the Irish transfers. If you didn't already know, there is a huge spring sale going on right now at Essential Stencil. And so you may want to, or you may have already ordered something, but it's almost like almost everything on the site is on sale. Hi Maggie, not everything of course, but I just thought I'd let you know about that sale. Hi Rick, Debbie, Dominica's here, hello. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are on the sale. So if you don't already have that, have something or ordered something, let me just go to it right here on my website so I can see 25% off spring sale, woohoo! And then if you use my code, I Restore Stuff, an extra 10 off that. So hello, yes, so many stencils to choose from and transfers. So today I'm going to be doing something with the little green truck on the bottom because you know you can use some of these transfers for just everyday use. And I just love the green truck and I think I'll just use it by itself. It doesn't have to be about St. Patrick's Day, but there are so many fun designs in those two transfer sets. And I wanted to use this one, May Your Journey Always Lead You Home, and that's from Melissa Bradshaw's collection. And that one is in on the spring sale, and a couple of her other ones are also the collaboration with the background textures. So I want to have some fun with some of those today. I could get onto some more, so don't get me started. We could be here all day just doing some fun stenciling and crafting. What do you think? Hi Sharon. Sharon, got them. You got which ones? You got? Did you get my collaboration set? I can't wait to see what you do with those. Yes. Hi, Eleanor's watching from South Carolina. Jamie's here. Hi everyone. Thank you so much. You're just such a lovely, wonderful community. I can't wait to get started, so I'll do that now, and we will use a little bit of Fusion's Colour Woodwick to just go ahead and stain our board here. So let's start on that while we're waiting for others to join us. And if you did want to, just hit that follow button and share or sprinkle the love right here on Facebook. I'm just going to quickly share that to my page. Now, I'm from the blog I Restore Stuff. If you saw on the video screen behind me, that's my blog, and I restore and upcycle furniture and home decor. Sorry, I'm bending down to see your face so you can see my face in the camera. And so I'm just going to quickly share that on my laptop next to me to my page here. And there we go, that's done. That's how quick and easy it is. And then we're right back into, oh, Sharon, thank you for answering. Oh, that's wonderful. I can't wait to see what you create with that. Okay, we've got a 12 by 16 board here. It does have little edges on the back so that you could use it this way and put a beautiful transfer or stencil on the inside and have that beautiful frame around the outside. Today I'm going to use it as this, going this way. And I'm going to use the colour Woodwick to just create a fun, quick stain. So I know a lot of you have seen the way that I do stain washes, and a lot of, I don't know, some of the other ambassadors do too. I'm going to try it differently today with using a sponge. And I was going to dampen this with a bit of water. I do have a damp cloth here on the side. So I might just add a little bit of dampness to that. And then simply going to grab the whole lot of paint and wipe it on and then sort of wipe it off. So that's as easy as it is. You can get these sponges probably at your local. They're I think they sell them at auto shops because some of these, it's just a foam sponge. And then going to dampen that a little bit more on my damp cloth here. And then wipe it on. Do the sides of your board as well. I'm going to add some texture today. I did some 3D stenciling last week, so if you didn't see that last week, you should be able to still see that on the Essential Stencil page. also up on my YouTube channel where you can see all of my previous videos and lives. I upload them all onto my YouTube channel, so they're there forever. And that is the I Restore Stuff YouTube channel. So if you just go to YouTube, you can find it right there. I'm going to add this to the sides. And I've just basically, you're using a watered down paint. Well, it's very, very thin paint, I think. Hardly even watered it down because I've just used my sponge. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing here, but I think you get the idea of doing a quick staining using a paint. So this is a water-based paint. It's Fusion Mineral Paint. You can use any acrylic water-based paint for your stenciling. You can use oil-based paints too, but I just love that the cleanup is so easy and quick with the water-based paint. So I'm doing the edges there too. Dampening the sponge. There's so many different ways that you can stain. You can use actual stains. So when we're thinning the paint down, which I haven't really thinned it down a lot, I've literally just been wiping it on and sort of wiping it off at the same time to create a stain on the pine board. Now I'm just going to click off something here because I can't see your comments. Oh, there we go. Hello everyone. Hi, Sherry's here. Donna, you just got on. Awesome. I think last week we were in the middle of preparing for a cyclone, or as you would call them in the USA, a hurricane, right here in our city. And so that came and went. Very minimal damage, but there has been flooding around the city, so it downgraded to, I don't know, category 1 or something as it hit the coast. And so, Olive, just a minute. Olive's here, she's just scratching the door, means please take me outside, I need to go. All right, so as you can see by my description in the live and the pinned comment that's right there, it starts with, wow, so many stencils to choose from. And that's because Essential Stencil is having a spring sale on now, and there are so many so many stencils and transfers included in the sale. So I'm going to be using some of those today, and it's a 25% off sale, but you also use my code I Restore Stuff and save an extra 10% on that. So I thought we'd add a little bit of drama, a little bit of texture to the background of my sign today. And I love Melissa Bradshaw's collection that has these 5 different backgrounds in it, and these are on the sale on the site today. I've got the link right there for that. Some crackling, who loves a good bit of crackling texture? Some bricks, I think we'll do some brickwork on this, and just adding to giving a bit of dimension. I don't know what you would call this pattern, but it looks pretty cool, whatever it is, like wire mesh, netting, that kind of a thing. And here's one that I love too, the coffee stains, or ink stains. Could be ink stains for an ink well, or from coffee stains, something like that. And then there's the wood grain. So lots of fun textures you can use for your backgrounds. I could even use a little bit of this. I'm thinking of just using the bricks around the corner areas, just to add a little bit of dimension. But hey, if you think of any fun ideas with me, you could just add them in the comments. How have you used these stencils? Have you used them before? Let me know. Mary, you just got these stencils the other day. Awesome. Oh yeah, bubbles. That's right, they are too. They could be bubbles. A burlap look, that's what that is. That's why you guys are here, to help me. So this one, someone mentioned that it's a burlap look. Very thin burlap look. So what I'm going to do is use that very same colour, Woodwick, in that fusion paint. And I'm just going to, so this is the stain. You can see the wood grain still through the wood. let's just point the camera down a little more so you can see what we're working on here. And I thought we'd add some brick just around the corner, poking out the edges. So we're just going to do that with a bit of the same colour, but it'll be a little bit darker with the paint. So it's just adding a little bit of dimension to our piece. Why don't we use, just trying to decide on what brush to use here. Just looking for something a bit more medium. Oh, they're both 5/8 inch. This one looks a bit darker. I like to keep my white colour or light colours on one brush and dark colours on another brush of the same size. So that's another reason for getting a few extra brushes. So I've got this colour Woodwick here. I'm just going to use what's in the lid, and I put a bit on my brush, but then I want to offload that onto my page here. This is just a bit of, who recognises this? It's literally from the Essential Stencil packaging that it comes in, and I just cut them up and use them as offloading cardboard for my stencils. Okay, so I'm going to just grab this corner bit here, and we're going to imagine that it's just got a little bit of bricking in the background. And again, it's the kind of thing that I'm experimenting with today because I haven't used this stencil. Oh, I haven't even tried this idea. So we're going to add a little bit of that and see what that looks like just in the background there. So see how you can sort of make some corner edges, and you can see it fades out, and that's just simply my brush. I just let it fade out. I don't go right to this edge here. You need to stop before you get to the edge so we don't have an actual finish on there. So then we're going to add some more over this side. So you can just put your stencil anywhere and add a little bit more paint onto my brush. Yes, someone asked, can these stencils be used with texture paste? So thank you, Paula, for answering. Yes, you can. In fact, last week, if you go to last week's live or go to my very last YouTube video at I Restore Stuff on YouTube, and I've uploaded there the sign that I made last week using texture paste. It was using Fusion's smooth embossing paste, and I created a dash dot in the middle of a sign. I also created it with words, used the texture paste with words. So with the texture paste, I show you exactly with the emboss medium, showed you how I did that. A little bit more paint on the brush. So see how it's the same color, but it sort of fades in. And so I'm just brushing around about where I want it to go. And so I haven't come out to the edge because I don't want a firm square edge. I just want it to look a little bit like it's there in the background. So there's another brick edge, and it's a little bit more on this side than I've done over there. We're actually going to be doing this sign sideways this way, so I should have done it the other way. I should have done it a long ways this way, but hey, it can be an upside down, a sideways wall. That's all right. So we're going to do it again this way, just so that it matches. Because the stencil that I chose and the truck that I'm doing, it leans more to a horizontal thing happening. So yeah, just learn from my mistakes. If you would like to do yours the other way, then by all means go ahead and do that. So the idea is to go right up the top, do all of that around there, and then sort of fade it out. It's a little bit more faded than the others, so that's okay. Oh, that's a great idea. Okay. So there's the bricks on this. So you could see the edging there. Makes a great kind of background look. You could move a little bit along and do some that's kind of, you can add a bit more to the edge over this way if you wanted to. Just going to go around a little bit more of that edge there, and let's come from this side. I'm just kind of matching up the line of the bricks, not necessarily matching the actual bricks. So whoops, didn't match those up quite well, but that's okay. Can't really tell, it's not too noticeable. Let's just have a little bit more, add a bit of shading to the side there. So you can see we've got that going all the way along there, and just sort of leaving a bit of space for the center for our stencil. And our stencil words, because it sort of blends into that background, our stencil words will still go nicely with this. Well, I should have figured out if I could match these, but that's okay. I'm just going to go approximately there, and then let's go approximately here. Oops. It is a big board, Nora. It's 16 by 12 inches. And it's perfect for our 16 by 12 stencils. So a lot of the large stencil sheets are that size. So there we go. We've added that beautiful brick texture in the background. We could do some more on this side if we want to. Let's just do that. I feel like it needs to be sort of joined up around the whole side. So we'll do a little patch over here. So I'm just going a little bit closer to the edge and filling in a bit of brickwork there. And again over here, just kind of matching up the bricks slightly. They're slightly off, but I think that will be fine. No problem. Okay, so there we've got this rustic. Now that would look great for sort of a man cave one with some of those man cave signs, Dad's garage, or one of those kind of signs that we've got stencils for. So that's all for that part. Now let's go and find our stencil here. Who's getting into the Easter projects right now? What are you stenciling? This is a great set for all year round. So I love that you can use some of these. They're just great for home, what do you call them? Gifts for weddings or new homes, that kind of thing. And this is the stencil that's literally called May Your Journey Lead Home. It's a part of Melissa Bradshaw's collection. So we've got that. I'll see which way I think we might do this. And then we've got the Luck of the Irish set of transfers. So guys, I want you to remember that all these stencils that are on sale right now is a great opportunity to be ahead for next year, because we know that St. Patrick's Day is coming up this week, isn't it? 17th, or next Monday or Tuesday. So you could be ahead of the game and get some in store for next week while they're on next year, while they're on sale. So we've got this, and we've got the truck with the 4-leaf clovers inside it, and some, oh, this cute little door, isn't that sweet? That is so cute. And that one could be all year round too. It wouldn't have to necessarily be just for St. Patrick's Day, but there's some cute signs and transfers. Let's see, I've got scissors. I'm just going to place my truck where I'd like it on the sign to sort of give an idea of where I should place the stencil. Cutting around those clovers. And Olive's at the door, monitoring the situation. So there we go. Cute. Yep, I think that'll be great. We can put our sign up the top, or we could flip it around. Because we have a little bit of extra brick coming out here, it might not matter exactly where that is because the car could still fit either way and look great. And we've got our "May your journey always lead home" right here. Could look like the car is on a bit of on the pavement there, couldn't it? So let's see, which way should we go first? So putting that right up there near the top, and we can add our transfer after, right about there. So I'm going to use a white because I think white will stand out nicely against this, and we'll use Fusion's casement, so it's one of their purest, whitest whites. Grab another offloading cardboard and a new stencil brush. Pick our lighter one. Now white sometimes on dark colours might need a couple of coats, but we'll see how this turns out. Working that white into the bristles of the brush. I know the brick is the wrong way, Laura. Because I thought about that when I was doing it. I was doing it portrait and I'm thinking, oh, that's the wrong way. So I've turned it around and the brick is the wrong way. That's just how we're going to have to deal with this today. But definitely I do these live so that you can learn from my mistakes. So feel free to, on yours, do it the correct way and do them across ways. Yeah, I know. I'm really disappointed when that happens. And so, especially on a live, I'm like, what was I thinking? I use these boards, the 12 by 16s, mostly in that portrait way instead of horizontally. And I got this out this morning thinking, oh, this will be great as a horizontal stencil. And then as I'm going, not thinking about it, just automatically put it in the portrait stance position and made an error. But I will tell you that we do have some tiles in our house that we just built 2 years ago that that go up and down like this. So it's the feature walls in our bathroom have tiles going long ways up and down like this, and it's a thing. So I'm gonna count that as it's on trend right now. So we've got tiles, maybe it's subway tiles in the background going long ways. It could be subway tiles, couldn't it? Not long to go for Easter now, so I was thinking for our second project today I could do a little something Easterish. The gorgeous bunnies that you've probably seen on some of Essential Stencils lives and projects people have been doing. Those really large bunnies are back in stock, the transfers. And so they are also on the sale right now. So grab a hold of those before it's too late. Oh, Paula, I love that idea. Talking about a sign that was made for your granddaughter. I'm only catching every now and then the comments. The colour is a white, Nora. So the colour is Casement, and it's Fusion's whitest white. If you're getting your Fusion and you don't have a local Fusion retailer, you can get it online at and use my code, I Restore Stuff. There's a link right there in the description of our live and in the pinned comment that has the link there for the Fusion paint. And if you use my code, you get an extra 10% off their online shop. So that's my affiliate code for them. And of course, all our spring sale stencils are 25% off right now, and the transfers as well And if you use my code I Restore Stuff, you will get an additional 10% off the sale price. So there's our sign. I could do with another coat, but it does stand out fairly well. I think there's just a little bit extra here needed. You can kind of see the areas where you might have missed a little bit or not quite got an edge as sharp as you'd like it. And like I was saying before, usually the pure white colours in any paint range will just require an extra coat or two, a little bit of extra going over. But when we're making this kind of rustic look, it suits. It suits anyway when it's a little bit thinner. Okay. Yeah, so that's the colour casement. Okay, next we're going to add our transfer, which is the green truck from the Irish transfer collection. It's the Luck of the Irish, it's called, with lots of fun things there. I could put some things in the, I want to say the boot, because that's what we call it in Australia, in the back of the truck. What do you call this section of your trucks? In Australia we have vehicles like this, we call the utility vehicles, but Australians always shorten everything, so we call them a ute, U-T-E. And yeah. Oh, Jamie, you wanted to craft tonight, but you're too tired. Well, you have to just watch me craft instead. But it is relaxing, isn't it, when you're just crafting, and you can even do it in front of the TV or while watching a podcast or something like that. So we're just rubbing the transfer on. Really easy to create a lovely look on your stencils and signs. And so it's coming off nicely. Sometimes it's a bit easier to get this tool to go do it this way. I should use I've got a Cricut tool, you call them, a burnisher. It's a little bit harder. Be careful not to. Yeah, it is working a little better. I think it's because this is more solid or more firm. And I cut close to that edge, and I don't want to scratch the paint, so that's something you just do need to be mindful of, is not to scratch, get on the outside where your plastic isn't. No, I don't want to scratch that. A little bit of the steering wheel there. Got it back down and rubbed it on. So that's super easy to do. Thank you guys. Don't forget we do have giveaway at the end of our lives, so to 3 lucky winners. So stay in the comments, stay engaged. Let us know what you're crafting on. Let us know what you've been using out of the sets that we're using tonight. Or maybe you've just received your package and you can't wait to do something with your stencils and transfers. What did you order? Did you order my collection that was launched last week? Really looking forward to seeing some. Don't forget, if you did use my collection, I'd love to see it by you tagging. If you've got a public post, if you've posted something publicly on your Facebook page, tag at I Restore Stuff. And that tags me so that I can see your post and I can like and comment on it. And I just would love to see what you're actually working on. So that'd be fun. Even if you have a craft page that you have on Facebook, you can tag me at I Restore Stuff. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'll hold that back a little bit. And we do have time to work on another, so I'll grab another board and we'll do something else as well. So yes, I did stain it. There was a question there about staining. Oh, thank you, Robin. You did order it. Great. Yeah, and that's just your green truck from the Irish transfers for St. Patrick's Day, but this looks like you could use that all year round. Someone might have green on their decor. And yes, my bricks are just a little featured subway tile that's going in the portrait, what do you call that? Horizontal, vertical. It's in the vertical position, but you could definitely do your bricks the more sensible way and do them acrossways. So if you were doing, you know, I just got a little mixed up tonight, you know, that's all. Okay, let's have a look at something else. I could either do look, let's do something Easterish with my tiny little board here. This is let's see, it's about the same size as this, but the inside part is, what are these, 6 by 6 inches? So it's probably more 5-inch inside. And I'm using right now for this one vintage floral bunnies, just for a really quick little demo on these. So these are on the sale as well, I believe. Yes, the bricks were from Essential Stencil. The bricks were a part of this collection here, if you missed it, which is a whole bunch of, there's 5 different backgrounds. So these are background textures, and you get 5 different background textures. And so if you missed the beginning, I went through each of those, but they are available in the spring sale. So they're on sale, 25% off. And there's also, if you're looking for backgrounds, you could do a similar background that we did here with the damask. In fact, I was going to do a little project. If we get time, I'll do that, because this bunny one's going to be super quick and easy. These little boards, they come with already painted white background on it. And I know someone's going to ask where I got them from, but I got them from an Australian company, so I'm not sure if they have, well, I'm sure they have something similar in the US, but I haven't found something on Amazon or otherwise. Okay, so look, so many cute little bunnykins. Oh, this one's a little bit tall. His ear might go missing. So we'll take this little guy from the corner here. Such a super sweet collection. And the eggs, aren't they just adorable? This beautiful hand-painted, by the looks of it, little eggs. So this board, it's already got some kind of a layer on it, and I've done transfers on these before, and they're so quick and easy. So if you do find anything like this, let me know where you can get those in the US. Cute little transfer. And then I might start on another project beside me, but I've got another board, and we can do similar kind of staining technique and add a couple of other stencils and transfers on it too. So I think that these have been really popular. The egg prints are gorgeous. These have been quite popular for Easter this year. So you can put these transfers on all kinds of things like cloth, little purse. It's not washable, no. So it would be something like, say, a pencil case, and you put a little transfer on that. And I have done that on caps, although my cap has started to wear off. So it's not something that will stay there forever. They're not meant to be for clothing, but hey, we like to just experiment and push the boundaries. But these can go on all sorts of things. On candles, I've done them on candles. For Christmas time, I did some of the poinsettia ones. And what else? Let me know in the comments, what have you put transfers on that's kind of unusual? They go on metal, on glass jars. We've put them on glass jars before. Yes, Eleanor, they can go on canvas-like material as well. So we've done them on that. And but not durable for washing. So it would be a matter of probably putting some sealer on it. You could try that, but they're not meant to be for canvas and fabric, but you can put them on them and they'd be sort of like a temporary kind of a thing. All right, there's our cute little bunny. Isn't that the sweetest? They just look so sweet, and such an easy upcycle for all kinds of home decor and that kind of thing. If you've missed earlier, we've already done one sign. We're on to another and then another. So I've got another board here, and this is, I get these in Australia from Montmartre. So if you are in Australia and you're watching, you can get, if you're in Brisbane, you can get these in my shop at Stencil Antique Centre, along with all the fusion mineral paint and our Australian paints. Artisan. So here's another board that we can use, and I've got, using a lot of things from Melissa Bradshaw's collection today. We've got Vintage Soul, I'm Just a Vintage Soul, Country Roads, Take Me Home. Very cute. So similar theme to what we did with our first one. If you've just joined us, we've already created this one using that brick pattern. So maybe we could do some other fun patterns in the background. We could use even a more of a painted look. Oh, I wish I'd gotten some, let's see what colours we've got here. There's what colour trucks we've got. Might use some of that damask, these damask stencils beside me. Fun trucks. Very cute. I like this. Could sit this in the corner and a stencil on the side. So this is a 2-pack. These are on the sale. So you can grab that anytime now for 25% off plus my 10% using code IRestoreStuff. So it's I'm Just a Vintage Soul and Country Roads Take Me Home. I think the truck really lends to that Country Roads Take Me Home, doesn't it? But you could do either. You could do either right there. So let's take a look. Might do that. Let's cut out my truck right now so you can have a look what it looks like. Put that down the side there. We'll do a little background. All right, let's do that idea again with the colour. I'm just trying to think, Bellwood or eucalyptus? Eucalyptus. They're sort of a greenish eucalyptus tone, and it works great as a stain. I've also used eucalyptus if you're trying to stain a wood piece of furniture that's got that orange pine look. The green in the eucalyptus really counteracts the orange pine and creates a nice wash stain for that. So let's have a look. We're going to actually use this other technique that I use. I'm just trying to grab my water here. I'm using a wet cloth this time. Oh, can you hear the birds? Just heard a bird out there. The birds all got very excited when the cyclone was over. There is a really big truck in that collection, isn't it? It's very, very cool. Okay, so we're just adding this eucalyptus is the colour, and I'm using a very damp cloth, and we're going across the top. It's just a really, well, that's very light, isn't it? So if this was orangey pine, it would really make that stand out. Also, when you're wetting down and watering down the fusion paints, I probably didn't need to water this down with my wet cloth, actually. Could have added a little bit more colour to it. There we go, we're adding a bit more now. So you can always go over it with a second coat and add a bit more stain to give it that look. Getting it all over my scissors. Adding a bit more. See, it's a really pretty green, grey eucalyptus colour. That will dry. So what I was going to say before is when you're using the water-based paints as a stain, it's really important to seal your finished project to get, well, if you're doing it on furniture especially, you're compromising the built-in top coat that's in the fusion mineral paints. So they're made for furniture painting so that they're really durable and can paint over pretty much any surface. So if you want to upcycle some furniture in your home, it's a great go-to paint to use. But yeah, when you water it down, you're compromising on that durable built-in top coat finish. So you would add something like a tough coat sealer to create a proper finish on there. You'll notice that it'll dry to a really matte matte finish. I feel like I'd like to do some more. I want some more green on that. I'm actually going to get a brush. We're working on just some fun backgrounds here for a sign. And the board's still quite wet, but I want to add just a bit more colour on there. And it's really going to be nice for those colours in my truck. See the eucalyptus kind of background colours of the leaves? So that'll lend nicely to that colour, I think. Let's see how thick we'll go. Okay, maybe wipe back a little more. Nice smooth finish. Giving a little bit of streaking across there. Has added a little bit of streaky, hasn't it? It's okay. I think it's the lines in the cloth, but we're going to add some texture to the background, sort of like we did with our first project there. So I'll pop that in a plastic bag, make sure it doesn't dry out, because we may be able to use that again for something else. Oh, look at those streaks come through as it's drying. We'll just hit that with the hairdryer for a second. Nora, don't know where you come up with all these ideas. Sometimes it's literally right now, Nora. Okay, so it is drying so that you can still see the wood grain in the background, so that's good. Making a bit of a mess on my hands here, but that's okay. All right, so there's our background, beautiful greenish colour. So the project we did before, we used brown as a background stain. So we used the colour Woodwick. This one is the colour Eucalyptus, and that's a fusion colour. So that's a nice green colour for the background. So here's our truck, and we want it truck facing inwards. I wouldn't put it this way because I feel like for art you need to have that sort of pointing to the rest of the picture. But before we do all that and we add our country home thing, let's add those fun texture things that we were doing before. Okay, and there's the code there just as a reminder for you to use to get you 10% off. Yes, good idea. The search bar on the website, on Essential Stencils website, is a great tool. I do have the link in the description of the live for the spring sale, and it's got them all there, or you can just look up the word truck. But the important thing to remember is just to use that code to get you extra 10% off today for the spring sale. We've got 3 days left. 3 days left of the spring sale. Okay, we've got 3 beautiful damask patterns here, and I'm going to use something of these. It probably doesn't matter which one I use. They're all just a slightly bit different. So it really doesn't matter probably which one I use. I might use this one that's got sort of the most stuff on it. Okay, so we're just going to add this a little bit to each corner, making a little bit of a corner feature, I think, and we'll just probably use that same color again, eucalyptus, so that we're keeping it with the same tones as the background. And then we can add our truck and things. Now we're putting our truck in the bottom corner down here, so probably won't add as much there, but we still will add something. So let's get our 1/2 inch brush. That looks like a good enough size. We'll add this to my brush. So I've added some paint, but I'm offloading that and working it into the bristles to make it nice and even in all the bristles. Hi Joyce, thanks for saying hello. Angela's correct. It's easier than it looks. Sometimes it's messy. But the key to good stenciling, in fact, is to offload your brush as much as you can. So I'm going to go starting from the corner, which we want fairly solid, and then working towards the center or any area really. Just figure out where you want your design to come to. And adding a little bit more onto the brush. We'll see how this turns out. It's just supposed to be a subtle background, so it's not meant to be overly stand-out-ish. If you really wanted it to stand out though, you could use a really good contrasting colour like white or something similar. I'm hoping I'm not going to drop my phone off the thing here. Okay, adding a bit of there. And let's see how that looks. Oh yes, okay. Got a fleck of something, a little brush speckle. I'm going to put that back down because I feel like I didn't go as much as I needed to in those corners back there. So grabbing another little bit of paint, offloading. And I did do a couple of coats of the stain, so that's probably not turning out as contrasting as I'd like. But I could also use another colour that's very similar, and that's Bellwood. So this is Bellwood, and the colour I'm using is Eucalyptus. They're very similar in tone, so they've got some green tones, but see, you've got a really subtle look right there. I don't know if you can see that in the corner. Let's see if I could just give it one last go. Oops, wrong way. There we go. At adding a bit more to this end of it. And then if this doesn't work, if I want a little bit more contrast, I'll go on and use the Bellwood colour as a bit of a different contrast. Yeah, it's kind of, it's drying and it's blending right in. So as it's wet, it's, see, I'm experimenting with you again, and someone asked before, where do you come up with these ideas? How do you come up with these ideas? Sometimes it's literally on the fly, like right now. So I'm going to stop there for just a second. Flick those little bits off. I'm going to use Fusion's colour Bellwood, and I'll show you the difference. I'll just grab this and get the lid on tighter so I don't spill it everywhere. So Eucalyptus, very similar to Bellwood. I don't know if you can see the difference right there in their colours. But one is, Eucalyptus a little bit more grey, Bellwood is a little bit more green. So if it's a little bit more green, it should hopefully add a little bit of contrast to our painting that we're doing here right now. So I'll let you see. I'm using the same brush. I'm going to put it side by side so you can kind of see the colour difference. And we'll see if that, see how you can see that subtle difference between Eucalyptus and Bellwood. I'll add it over here first and see. Just going to add that to make a bit of a corner flourish. Now this is, obviously the truck is going to be here, so we don't want a whole lot. We'll probably just put a little bit around the corner. A little bit in there. Because this probably won't be seen, some of this. But there we go. We can see a subtle bit of background there with a slightly different colour. Let's move up to this top section. We could even have this going up the edge. We're offloading cardstock. Adding a little bit more subtle texture to the background. I think we might even add a bit of white to that. See how we just experiment with these things until we're happy with our outcome. I don't want to use that brush, do I? Just dip so that the paint doesn't go in there. Whoop, where's my colour? There's a little bit of white that's being added. Do all sorts of colours on here. A little bit of pouncing to add some more texture. There we go. I think as this is drying down the bottom, it's sort of darkening, so you're not seeing it as well. But look at that, that stands out a lot more. So let's do that. Do some of those, have a little bit up the top. Could even just blend it into each other, you know. Just adding, and I'm not filling it all in, just giving it a little bit of a zhuzh around. Grabbing some off that board that we just created. Again. Who else just crafts and gets paint all over their hands? There we go, a little bit of subtle design there. And here's, we're going to go back down to this bottom one where I can hardly see it anymore because it's faded into the background. And we're grabbing this white that I've still got on here. Might grab a little more, being careful not to get too much there. Blending it into that. I'm just doing a little pouncing. See what that looks like. If I want it more solid, I can go over it again. Yeah, some fun designs in here. Add a bit more. Grabbing that white. And again, my words are going to be up in this section, so but it just adds a little bit of something in the background. Let's go back over this one with some more of that white and green mixed together. Oh, it's almost 3D right there. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, sorry, I didn't know that we were out of the shot. I've got a little bit of a shadowing effect there because I didn't put my stencil down in the right place or in the same place. Let's see, there's that little feature there. Can kind of line that up. Add a little bit more white. Dabbing, a little bit more sprinkle, a little bit more texture. Looking good, what do you think? So there's a little bit more of a different kind of look to that. We'll add something down the bottom here maybe. Just kind of doing a little bit here and there and everywhere, aren't I? Blending that in. It's getting a little bit whiter each time I try and use that white. This is a damask set, and it's a set of 3 damask stencils. A little bit more down there, and maybe something else up the top here. And then we'll go on with our words, which we'll probably do in a bright white, so I'll change my brush then, because this has kind of got that greenish tone in it, and I want the words to stand out. So there you go. So some fun different ways. I think this one still needs to stand out a little more. As it dries, it tends to be going... Oh, where is that dot? I can line up that little dot right here. Ooh, there we go. It's too much on my brush, so I'm just going to spatter it around. And I've got a little speckled look on top of it. So much fun. You could just, you know, do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere. Brightening up that area. As it dries, you know that the paint changes a bit of colour as it dries. So there you go. We've got a bit of a background to work with. We'll add some white now and use a different brush. Let's see what I've got. Oh, there's my white brush. Grab some of this from here. Got to make sure my truck fits. Where did I put it? Here it is. So that's going to go down here, and our other words will come up here. Country roads take me home. And I think we can fit it just perfectly right about there. And it doesn't matter if my transfer has a little bit of the stencil showing under it. With this one, just be really careful. I'm not taping it down, but you could tape it down, and just make sure that you tape, that your brush doesn't go over the edge, because if I'm using a larger brush, sometimes it'll go a little bit too close to the edge. Country roads, take me home. There we go. Yeah, I hope it encourages you to do a lot of textures in the background. If you do have any questions about stenciling and transfers and painting, even painting furniture or anything like that, please feel free to message me or comment in the comments, and I'll try and get back to those, especially if you can tag my page, I Restore Stuff, and I'll read your comments then. A little bit too much on my brush, so I'm just kind of pouncing it for a bit until it gets spread around. Have you ever done that? Got too much on your brush and you've started and you're like, ah, hope it didn't go underneath the stencil. So the key to having not fuzzy edges is to get that brush pretty dry and not too much paint on it. Okay, let's have a look and see what our country roads look like. Whoop. There we go. It's a little bit brighter. You could add, I think we could add an extra coat of that. So I'll do the transfer first and then we'll come back to putting another layer on that, just to give it a bit more of a solid look. So see how there's some areas that are a little bit more subtle? And it might just need a second coat to really pop out. You could also do that shadowing technique that I've shown you on so many of my videos. Mary, you were just singing that song. Country roads take me home to a place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. Come on, everybody. Probably got that stuck in your head now, haven't I? Okay, so when we're going around with our transfer tool, I want to make sure that every little bit is coming off nicely. So if you do pull the plastic away and you do see some parts stuck on there, like these flowers, they're sort of smaller. The big areas come off it comes off a lot easier, I feel. And those smaller areas, you've just got to work and be careful that you're not leaving some of the leaves behind, for example. So I'm almost finished our project for today. But stay tuned, because we do have some gift card giveaways. So 3 lucky winners today on our live. And you will receive $20 gift cards from Essential Stencil at the end of our live. So hang in there, we're nearly finished. I'm going to turn this on its side for a second so then we can get a better grip at what's going on. Oh, hopefully my paint was dry right there with that letter. That's a good clue or key to good transferring, is your paint underneath needs to be really dry. And I didn't even hit that with the hairdryer, so I think I've got some, it's not transfer that's stuck, it's paint coming up onto the plastic from my transferring. Brenda, you've had that song stuck in your head for a few days. Wow. It's funny how a song will just stick there, wasn't it? Whoa, that one. All right, almost done. Those beautiful flowers in the back, just such a lovely spring arrangement. I can see snapdragons in there. I feel like the green matches nicely with the eucalyptus in the background. Oops, one little area nearly got missed. And a little chip off that. Oops, lay it back exactly in the right spot and rub it on. There we go. And now when you've got your transfer on, you don't have to, but it is a good idea to seal that whole piece like that as well. Okay, so there's our beautiful piece. And again, like I said before, we can just go over this with another coat, and I feel like that would really solidify that white. Now that white, I think I like the flowers coming over the top of the letter H there. But I just will grab this brush and add a bit more to this, the words up here. And that will make them nice and solid. You'll see the difference. So once that's dry from the first coat, you can go ahead and give it a second coat. It is better if you do it when it's first coat's dry, because sometimes when you add a second coat and the first coat is not quite dry, this applies to furniture painting as well, you will end up removing some of that first coat. It'll sort of peel back and lift up the first coat and end up taking it off rather than putting paint on. So that's a top tip there as well. Leave that letter so that it's, there we go, finished. So let's have a look. If you've just joined us late to the live, I'll show you what I made earlier. So that stands out a lot more now. The country roads take me home. I've got a nice shabby chic, as someone said in the comments, damask background there, nice and subtle. And I'll pop that up so we can see, and then we'll be able to pick some winners for our live giveaway today. There we go. So here's what we worked on. Oh, and not forgetting our little Easter bunny, which we just used a simple transfer on a white background. So they're so easy to create if you've got some ready-made signboards somewhere in a shop near you. And then here's what we created with our May Your Journey Always Lead You Home transfer with the truck from the Irish stencil set. So there's a beautiful green truck in there. There's also another truck that has shamrocks or clovers in the background, in the back of it. I don't know if is it the same size? I think it is. This one's got shamrocks in the back of it. The other one, this one didn't. So, you know, you can use that year round. And then, whoops, Country Roads Take Me Home. There we go, with some of those beautiful backgrounds from Melissa's collection as well, with the damask background, with shabby chic. So I hope you liked those, and let's see, do we have some winners? I will see if I can see some on the screen. I don't see them just yet. The bunny is really cute, isn't it? I love the truck too, but don't forget, do your bricks the right way. I did mine sort of going up vertically. That's okay. But if I was doing a vertical sign, it would work better. But yeah, this one needed this long sign. So I could have also filled in the bricks a little bit more around where the truck is and the words, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So congratulations to our winners today, whose names are Becky, Terry and Joyce. Becky, Terry, Joyce, please email support@essentialstencil.com and let them know that you're a winner today on Sharon's live at Essential Stencil, and you will get your $20 gift card emailed to you. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Don't forget, the spring sale is on now, 25% off a whole bunch. Is almost everything in the store except some recent collections. And so there's my code, I Restore Stuff. That will get you an extra 10% off on top of the 25% off. So don't forget that. We'll see you again next week. Bye.